Welcome to the Native English Podcast, brought to you by Native English Stories. I am Sarah.
And I am John. We are so happy you are here with us today. How are you doing, Sarah?
I am doing great, John, but I have to admit something. This morning, I had a very awkward moment. I went to the coffee shop down the street. The barista smiled and said, "Enjoy your coffee." And do you know what I said?
Let me guess. You said, "You too."
Yes, exactly. I said, "You too." It was so silly. The poor barista is not drinking coffee. He is working. My brain just could not think fast enough. I wanted to say something nice, but my mouth just moved before my brain could process it.
Do not worry, Sarah. That happens to everyone, even to native speakers like us. It's like our brains go to sleep for a second.
It really does, and that is actually the perfect introduction for our topic today. Today, we are talking about how to think fast and speak better. This is a huge challenge for many English learners.
It really is. Many of our listeners tell us that they know a lot of words. They study grammar rules, they read books, but when someone asks them a question in real life, they just freeze. They cannot find the words quickly.
Exactly. They get stuck in their own heads. They try to translate from their native language to English, and that takes too much time. By the time they are ready to speak, the conversation has moved on. It's a very frustrating feeling.
I understand that feeling completely. When I was learning Spanish, I had the exact same problem. Someone would say a simple phrase and my mind would just go blank. I would stand there smiling like a robot, trying to remember the right verb tense.
A smiling robot. That is a great image, John, but it's true. We want to help our listeners move past that stage. We want to help everyone catch on to conversations more quickly and feel more confident.
But before we share our best tips, I want to send a warm welcome to everyone catching our video right now on Facebook.
Yes, welcome Facebook family. If you're watching this on your feed, please give us a thumbs up and share this video so your friends can learn too.
And if our podcast lessons are helping you move past that robot stage, you can show your support by sending us Facebook stars.
Absolutely. Your stars keep us motivated to make these simple and useful videos for you. So please send some stars if you can.
Thank you so much for your love and support, everyone. Now, let's talk about our very first tip to help you think fast in English. So, Sarah, what do you think is the biggest secret to thinking fast in a new language?
Well, John, I think the first step is to stop trying to be perfect. Perfection is the enemy of speed. When you try to make a perfect sentence with zero mistakes, you slow down your brain. You have to let go of that fear.
That is so true. In real life, communication is just about sharing an idea. It's not an English exam. If you make a small mistake with a preposition or a verb tense, people will still understand you.
Exactly. And another trick is to learn phrases, not just single words. If you learn single words, your brain has to work like a construction worker, building a house brick by brick. But if you learn common phrases, it's like having a whole wall already built. You can just use it immediately.
I love that analogy. It's like having shortcuts in your brain. For example, instead of thinking about how to say that you agree with someone, you can just say, "I see your point." It's quick, it's natural, and it gives you time to think about what to say next.
Yes, and those little phrases are like magic. They buy you time. In English, we use words like, "well, actually," or "let me see." These words do not have a lot of meaning by themselves, but they give your brain a few extra seconds to prepare the next sentence.
Right. Instead of just staying silent when someone asks you a difficult question, you can say, "That's a good question. Let me think about it for a second." That sounds totally natural, and it saves you from that awkward silence.
It really does. You know, John, thinking fast is also about listening well. Sometimes we're so worried about what we're going to say next that we don't really listen to the other person. But if you listen carefully, the other person often gives you the words you need.
How do you mean? Can you give us an example?
Sure. If someone asks you, "Did you enjoy the movie last night?" you don't need to create a whole new sentence from scratch. You can use their words. You can say, "Yes, I really enjoyed it." You just mirror their language. It's a great shortcut.
That's a brilliant tip, Sarah. Mirroring is a fantastic way to keep the conversation flowing without putting too much pressure on your brain. It makes you sound fluent and it keeps you relaxed.
Exactly. And being relaxed is key. When you're stressed, your brain produces cortisol, and that actually blocks your memory. So if you feel nervous, just take a deep breath. It's okay to speak slowly. Speaking fast is not the same as thinking fast.
That's an important distinction. Some people think that fluent speakers always talk very fast, but that's not true. Many good speakers actually speak quite slowly and clearly. They just don't have long, awkward pauses. They keep a steady pace.
Yes, a steady pace is much better than rushing and then getting stuck. It's like driving a car. It's better to drive at a safe, constant speed than to drive super fast and then have to hit the brakes every 2 minutes.
Definitely. And practice makes perfect, but the right kind of practice matters. You can practice thinking fast even when you're alone. I used to play a game with myself when I was learning Spanish. I called it the 1-minute challenge.
Oh, tell us about that. How does it work?
Well, I would choose a random object in my room, like a clock or a chair. Then I would set a timer for 1 minute, and I had to speak about that object in Spanish without stopping. No pausing, no translating, just continuous speaking.
Wow, that sounds challenging but really fun. Did it help?
It helped immensely. At first, I said a lot of silly things and made many mistakes, but it trained my brain to connect thoughts directly to words without that slow translation step. It forced me to keep moving forward.
I love that idea. It trains your brain to find alternative words when you forget a specific one. For example, if you forget the word for refrigerator, you can say, the big cold box in the kitchen where we keep food. The conversation doesn't stop.
Exactly. That's a real communication skill. It's called circumlocution, but we can just call it describing around the word. It's what native speakers do all the time when we forget a word. And believe me, we forget words a lot.
Oh, we really do, especially as we get older. I forget simple words every day. Just yesterday, I forgot the word for stapler. I had to ask my coworker for the little metal thing that holds papers together. She knew exactly what I meant.
See, it's completely natural. It doesn't mean your English is bad, it just means you're human. So our listeners should never feel ashamed if they can't find the exact word right away. Just describe it and move on.
That's wonderful advice, John. I think this discussion really shows that speaking better is not about knowing every word in the dictionary. It's about how you use the words you already know. It's about confidence, strategy, and staying calm.
I agree completely. Now, let's move on to our special section where we look closer at some of the great expressions we use today. Welcome to our word tour section. We have some wonderful vocabulary for you today to help you think fast and speak better.
Our first phrase is catch on. This means to understand or learn something, or to become popular. John, can you give us the first example?
It took me a few minutes to catch on to the rules of the game.
Here's another example. The new fashion trend did not catch on in my city. Now it's your turn to practice. Repeat after me. It took me a few minutes to catch on to the rules of the game.
Our second phrase is go blank. This means to suddenly forget everything or be unable to think of anything. Sarah, what is our first example?
When the teacher asked me the question, my mind went blank.
And the second example is, I looked at the exam paper and my mind just went blank. Now, repeat after me. When the teacher asked me the question, my mind went blank.
Our third phrase is let go of. This means to stop holding on to something or to stop thinking about an idea or a worry. John, can you read the first example?
You need to let go of your fear of making mistakes when you speak.
Here is the second example. She finally decided to let go of her old anger. Now, repeat after me. You need to let go of your fear of making mistakes when you speak.
Our fourth expression is see someone's point. This means to understand what someone is trying to say or to understand their opinion. Sarah, let us hear the first example.
I do not completely agree with you, but I see your point.
And the second example is after he explained the situation, I could see his point. Now, repeat after me. I do not completely agree with you, but I see your point.
Our fifth phrase is buy time. This means to do something in order to get more time to think or prepare. John, please give us the first example.
I asked a question just to buy time while I looked for my papers.
The second example is saying well or let me think can help you buy time during a conversation. Now, repeat after me. I asked a question just to buy time while I looked for my papers.
Our sixth phrase is from scratch. This means from the very beginning, using regular materials and not using anything that was already prepared. Sarah, what is the first example?
We had to start the project from scratch because the computer crashed.
And the second example is, my grandmother always makes her delicious cakes from scratch. Now, repeat after me. We had to start the project from scratch because the computer crashed.
Our seventh expression is practice makes perfect. This is a classic idiom, which means that if you do something many times, you will become very good at it. John, can you read the first example?
Do not worry if your pronunciation is not perfect yet. Practice makes perfect.
Here is another example. He plays the piano every day because he believes practice makes perfect. Now, repeat after me. Do not worry if your pronunciation is not perfect yet. Practice makes perfect.
Our eighth phrase is play a game with. This means to do an activity for fun or to use a strategy to make a task more interesting. Sarah, let us hear the first example.
I like to play a game with myself to see how fast I can clean the kitchen.
And the second example is, the parents played a game with their children to keep them quiet on the train. Now, repeat after me. I like to play a game with myself to see how fast I can clean the kitchen.
Our ninth phrase is move on. This means to stop doing or discussing one thing and start doing or discussing something new. John, can you give us the first example?
Let us move on to the next chapter of the book now.
The second example is, after a short break, the meeting moved on to the budget. Now, repeat after me. Let us move on to the next chapter of the book now.
That was a fantastic word tour, Sarah. I hope our listeners find these expressions useful for their daily English conversations.
I am sure they will, John. These are all very common phrases that native speakers use all the time. Using them will definitely help everyone sound more natural and comfortable.
As we wrap up today's episode, let us take a moment to reflect on what we discussed. Learning to think fast and speak better is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and a lot of kindness towards yourself.
That's so true, John. Remember that communication is a bridge between two people. It's not a test. The person you're talking to wants to understand you. They're not counting your mistakes. They just want to connect with you.
Exactly. So next time you feel your mind going blank, don't panic. Smile, take a breath, use a small phrase to buy some time, and just keep moving forward. You're doing a wonderful job, and every small step counts.
Thank you so much for listening to us today. We truly appreciate your time and your dedication to learning English with us.
Yes, thank you everyone. If you enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share it with your friends who are also learning English. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep creating content for you. And also, check out the pinned comment below. We have left a tiny challenge there for you.
This is Sarah.
And this is John.
And you've been listening to the Native English Podcast, brought to you by Native English Stories.
Bye, everyone.